loading up the hearse, throw it in reverse. I come from the church of the Marvel Universe. Bodies getting stuffed in the bags like...
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Cryptcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Brian.
And we are coming to you from inside the Comic Crypt in Eatontown, New Jersey. And we have a book review for you this week. We are looking at Bitterroot, Volume 1, Family Business, by David Walker, Chuck Brown, and Sanford Greene, who all worked on the story. And we have Rico, Renzi, and Sanford Greene on art, and Clayton, Cowles doing letters. So, originally published in 2018 through Image. General impressions about the book before we start?
I like it. I love the characters. Everyone has a strong individual personality. Everyone stands out and is unique. But I like it overall.
Mm-hmm. It didn't blow me away. It is good. It didn't, wow me. It is a solid story.
Yeah, it's one of the best thing I ever read.
It is setting up a world, and like you said, the characters are really well formed. I think it's setting a really solid base for stuff going forward. And the third volume is going on right now.
Yeah.
So, I would like to read more to see where they go.
I like it enough that I would read more.
Yes.
That I will read more.
Like I said, didn't blow me away, but it is a solid story that sets up a lot of cool stuff.
I'm invested in what's happened so far.
Mm-hmm. So, issue 1 starts in Harlem, 1924, middle of the Harlem Renaissance, and a couple is leaving a jazz club. They end up walking through do they get there? Yeah, they're walking through a park, and they get attacked by something. Then we see 2 cops bringing something to and I'm going to apologize for saying stuff wrong, because there's some stuff in here that I don't know. Specifically, their last name, I went with a French pronunciation. So it's spelled Sangerye. I went a French kind of way. I went Sangerye. I don't know.
Yeah, Sangerye is the family's last name.
Yeah.
Just to expedite some stuff, your main core 4 family members are Ma Etta, Cullen, who's a young man, Berg, another young man who is quite large and eloquently spoken with a colorful vocabulary that has made me look up some words.
He owns a thesaurus, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, right. And a young woman named Blink. There's also an Uncle Enoch. And we bounce from Harlem to Mississippi, assuming the family has traveled up. And there's a cousin Ford down there.
I think he's just down there working.
Down there working?
I think so. I don't think it's there's a we live here too.
But the basic gist is they are monster hunters, demon hunters, and they refer to the demons as I was calling them Genu.
Okay, I called them Genu.
Genu.
Yeah.
They make an antidote, a serum. Again, Fifno. You were calling it.
I would call it Fifno.
Fifno.
Yeah.
And there's another kind of monster that shows up that is Inzondo.
Inzondo. Yeah. We lined up on that one.
Yeah. So. A little iffy on the terminology because it's not familiar terminology.
Yes, I mean it's definitely one of those cases of you see a word and you do your best to how you think it should be pronounced, right?
Yeah.
But unless you hear someone actually say it, you're just kind of in the wind.
Yeah, because I was like Sangri, and then when you said it with the French pronunciation, I was like, yeah, that makes way more sense.
But if you pronounce it as is, it's Sangerye. It's that sounds weird. So that's why I think the Sangerye makes the most sense as far as pronunciation goes.
Yeah, I'll roll with that.
Okay. So we see 2 cops bringing something to the Sangerye tonsorial and elixirs. And an old woman, who is Ma Etta, and a young woman, who is Blink, are there to take them in. Do you know what a tonsorial is?
I don't.
Barber.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's it. So it's a barber and elixir's place.
Which is funny, because, you didn't see anybody cut anybody's hair in there.
No, but, barber was, a general term back then, too. Especially, late 1800s into there. A barber was, you go get pulled teeth and get minor surgery at the barber.
Sure.
You know?
I was saying, I didn't even see a haircutting chair in there.
There's some people tied to a chair. That could have been a haircutting chair.
True.
So I had to look up a couple things, too. I had to look up what a tonsorial was, because I didn't know. Mm-hmm. And I had to look up one thing that Berg said. Because I knew what the word meant, but it was used in a colloquial sense and a slang thing. And I was like, oh, okay, I got it. I had to look up 2 times. Otherwise, I knew everything, and I'm proud of it. But we see them taking them in, and then we cut quickly to some action.
On the rooftop.
Yep.
With Cullen and Berg.
Yep. Cullen is having a rough time fighting a Janu. And the Janu looks like a devil. Like red horns, giant, furry.
Yeah, big claws.
Yep. Weird feet. All that shit. And Berg is giving him some shit.
While Berg is sitting there drinking a cup of tea.
Yeah, he's enjoying watching. Yeah, he's using words like sagacious and heuristic. Anything else on this page? No.
No, just he uses sporadically.
No, he's not doing it to be like I'm a smarty pants.
Yeah.
He's a well-read guy who uses large words.
But Cullen's a little wet behind the ears.
Insalubrious.
Demon fighting. So this is like a training.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I think they're like everyone's kind of like, "Hey, Cullen, it's time to man up, asshole. Let's go." Because he was like he should be further along than he is. But Blink wants to go up and fight the Janu, but Ma Etta says that that's not woman's work. In this family, men do the brawn work, women do the brain work. It's like you listen.
Which fair because they're pretty smart.
I mean, this book, as far as things go, this book is about race relations. And gender roles. Yeah. Like, this is what this book is about. And one's a little more progressive than the other.
Well, that's because gender roles are fucked up.
Well, no, the gender roles are the things that ends up being okay. The race relations is the thing that's fucked up.
No, because Blink is a badass fighter. So
yeah,
she breaks the gender role.
She's, by the end of the book, it's all like, yeah, cool, awesome. Yes, women can also fight. Yeah. But it's also, hey, racism made all this bad stuff happen, and that didn't go away. So Blake ends up going up to the roof anyway, and she kicks the shit out of this Janu. Like she runs up there.
No hesitation.
She's got it down in 2 pages.
Yeah,
Less than.
Mm-hmm. Just lays into it.
So she knows what's up.
She comes up there like some old learned wise woman. You just stop messing around, both of you. Like just.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's just mad.
Yeah, straight to business.
And now that the Janu, there's 2 of them, are knocked out and locked up in like little cages, they can hit it with the Fifno serum and they'll be cured because that's how it works. The Janu basically are people who get like overtaken. We'll go into detail about it later.
No Janus is good Janus. We carry Janus.
But the Saint-Gervais family has the know-how to turn particular roots into the Fifno serum, which takes the Janu out of the person. And then we cut to another couple, which turns out to be a couple, which you don't really get the vibe of until like the end.
Yeah,
I didn't know what their relationship was.
Right in the beginning, it seems that she's very smitten with him, and he's very focused on the mission, kind of thing. So, but there's more to develop later.
Yeah, so they're in San Juan Hill, west of Harlem. And we have Dr.
Sylvester.
And Miss Nightsdale. And they're doing some weird shit. Like, he bites the head off of a pigeon, like a live pigeon, and he gets a vision of the Saint-Gervais. And then he says they need them on their side. Like, they need the Saint-Gervais on their side because of the Fifno serum.
Yeah, I don't, he says some things, so much power at their fingertips. And they just skim the surface, and they're formidable fighters, and they have the toxin. They didn't lean into them having more power.
What do you mean?
Because he says, he's talking about them bickering like children and having more power. They're just skimming the surface on what they're capable of, and he calls them pathetic. And it's like, okay, like, they kick ass, but like...
I think that's borne out in how the book goes forward and how he kind of has a shift in thinking, right? Where, like, he's like, it's all or nothing.
Right.
And they're willing to, like, no, there's a balance and we need to do it the right way. I think he's talking about the Fifno serum and how they have the power to kind of, like, control stuff a little bit.
Okay, because I was saying they didn't, like, have any kind of quickening with a power upgrade or...
I mean, Enoch knows magic, like, straight up.
Yeah. And there's some, like... development and skill with Cullen.
As far as Nightsdale and Sylvester are concerned, they're very much focused on the Fifno serum.
Yeah.
Because they're using it to control stuff that on their side, and I think they see it as a source of power for what they want to do going forward, too. But then again, they have a change of heart later on. We cut back to the San Gervais, and we see the serum is finished, and it's this bright, glowy green stuff. Looks like mutagen. And Blink apologizes, and Ma Etta says, fighting is what got Blink's mother killed. And she goes, so many of the family have died, she can't stand anymore. Like, no more loss.
They've lost enough.
Yeah, there's enough. And then they make Cullen administer the serum because he needs practice. He still hasn't got everything down yet. Cullen's lagging behind.
He seems like he's not living for the work, you know? Because he says he hates this part. He hates how loud they scream. He kind of seems like he doesn't want to do it at all.
No, he very much seems like he is not want to be in this life. He's not a great fighter.
Right.
Kind of reticent to kind of like do much anything. He can hold his own.
Yeah.
If he needs to, but he's not very good at it. Where like we find out that Berg is will fuck you up.
Yeah.
But he looks like it too.
Yeah, he's a monster. He's a huge.
Looks like Suge Knight.
Yeah.
And Blink, like I said, she's crazy.
Yeah, she's the first one you see throw down hard. Yeah.
You know, and Ma Etta is the head of the family, kind of like running everything. It's just Cullen's the only one who's kind of like, I don't know.
I like when she throws down later.
Oh my god, she's I love that.
Some Master Splinter shit.
I love that.
Because she's very stoic.
Later on, we see two cops walking in St. Nicholas Park in Harlem, and they see Berg and Cullen carrying two bodies, which is unfortunate because they're two white bodies.
Yeah.
A guy and a girl.
That wouldn't look good today, let alone in 1924.
Right. Bad times. While they're talking, they see a Janu behind the cops, and Berg, and like they start to kind of like flip out because they take it as a threat. The one cop in particular, and Berg says, "Don't shoot." And the cop fires off like 4 times, and Berg fucking blocks the bullets with his staff. He has like a metal staff, blocks the bullets. Crazy, big guy, he's fast. And as that cop is asking how he did that, the Janu takes that cop's head off.
Which we find out later is not a Janu.
It is not a Janu.
That is Inzondo.
Yeah. But at this point, everyone thinks it's a Janu. Yes. They're like, we've never seen one like this before. And it talks, and it knows their name. And it looks like, basically, it looks like a huge like man's body, like almost like an ogre size, but it's got like a vulture head on it.
Yeah.
Berg tries to fight it. It takes him down pretty quick. And Cullen mentions that he wishes Ford were there because now he's facing this thing on his own. But Ford is busy in Mississippi, and he's dealing with the Klan, like the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan. A bunch of dudes who are about to lynch a guy, and he pops in and guns down every member there.
Except for one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as the last page of this issue goes, he pops them all in the head and they go down. Issue 2.
I think the white kid's hysterical.
We're gonna get there. Because so as far as Ford goes, Ford's
Blade.
Is Blade
Or Shaft or whatever.
Yeah,
he just fits that bill.
I went with Blade. Like, oh, this dude's Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Badass. You know, the long black coat, the goatee. Like
he's got scratches over his eyes.
Some scars.
He's got like no nonsense, very serious. He's like, I'm gonna kill them all.
Yeah.
Where like the rest of the San Gervais cure Janu. They take you because you're infected. They give you the Fifno serum. You become normal again, and that's it. Ford kills Janu.
Yes.
He does not fucking care. He kills them, and he has a gun that has like a purple serum in it. So I guess he's using a different like.
That's the other thing too, man. Their weapons, their tech. It's got like a steampunky vibe. There's like tubes with liquids, and it's kind of like atomic age. Like the aesthetic's a lot of fun.
I like the aesthetic. I like Greene's art a lot. I said it before. Other stuff. There's a lot of movement in it. It's very dynamic. Lots of stuff going on. I really like it. But yeah, I think steampunk hits the design of the weapons and stuff. So it looks like he kills all the clan members, but like you said, one of them survives. All but that one end up being Janu. Like they all get popped in the head, but then they wake up as Janu in their like monster forms, and they happen to look like weird like bat
werewolf kind of thing.
Yeah. Some stuff's hard to like really.
Yeah, the demons are all very ambiguous to degrees.
Yeah, but some of them are like clearly like, oh, you're based on this kind of animal kind of stuff. So I try to give the visual, but they all like attack in mass, and there's what, like 10 of them or something like that, trying to jump down on Ford and the guy they were trying to lynch, but they leave us hanging, and we jump back to the park with Cullen and the Inzondo. Again, the thing they think is a Genu that looks like a vulture. And Cullen tries to fight it, and not much happens.
Well, he's pretty shocked as shit that it knew his name.
Yes. He's trying to protect the two people that they just saved. The cop turns around, shoots the vulture a few times with his regular gun, and then gets murdered. Cullen hits it with Berg's staff and takes him down, runs away with the two people they just saved. Two more cops see it, and these are the two cops from the earlier. I think it's Samuels and Sullivan.
Yes.
Yeah. And in my notes, I was like, this vulture thing has to be Dr. Sylvester, right? Because he bit the head off a pigeon, so why wouldn't he turn into a bird thing?
Into a bird thing?
Yeah. It turns out it's not. I'm wrong.
Well, it says I'm no Genu, and the victims are what it came for.
Yeah.
Not the,
it came for the victims.
Not for the family members, but for the two victims.
Right, the two Genu that got turned, it's stealing them.
Yeah, I like for the last panel on the page is like, leave them be. They ain't nothing to you, and the creature's like, they are survival. It's like, oh man, like what the hell is this about?
Mm-hmm. So the cop's seeing the vulture thing run away.
The cop too, and he's like, did you see what I just saw? He's like, yeah, I just hope it was me losing my marbles.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was hoping I was going crazy.
Yeah. Well,
fun.
So we're back in Mississippi, and there's one survival at the Klan meeting, and
Johnny Ray Knox.
Yeah, Johnny Ray Knox, which is that's a very, very southern name. He starts like laying into Ford, which is like he's got some balls on him,
right? Like
after he just killed everyone he's known, and then Ford lets him know that's like, hey, I could just kill you too, and then Johnny kind of like changes his tune real quick, and like a hard 180 on this dude, like.
Well, he's being.
He's definitely like a young man, right?
Yeah, and he's just he's very privileged with the way he's throwing around words like boy. He's like, you killed them all in cold blood. Mm-hmm. Ford's like, don't ever call me boy. He's like, and they were, and he lays out that fact that like the only reason why you're not one of them is because you haven't sinned, you haven't committed a murder or done like they were susceptible to being the Genu, Genu, because they have done bad things.
Yeah,
and he hasn't yet.
Yes. So Ford basically tells Johnny to keep his soul clean. So let's just talk about like what the Genu are right now. So the Genu happen when a soul is taken over by like hate or fear, and that like. You feel so much hate or you feel so much fear towards something that you transform into a monster. You're infected and become a Genu.
It's a manifestation of ugly.
Right. Exactly. And in this case, most of that revolves around race.
Right.
Where it is white people turning into Genu because of the hate and fear of black people. It is, it's rough. Because there's a lot of Genu.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's funny that, Johnny runs after Ford.
Yeah, he says, keep my soul clean?
Yeah.
And then Ford runs away and says, hey boy, I mean mister, hold up.
Yeah. He's like
how do I keep my soul clean?
Yeah, it's like I'm not being left alone in this fucking like you can't show me this shit and then walk away like I'm gonna stick by you, mister who knows how to kill them.
But like Johnny's arc in this book is kinda like you were at a lynching.
Yeah.
You were about to kill a black man.
Yeah.
You're about to murder him.
You're about to murder a guy just for spending time with a white woman.
And in 3 issues, he is in the home of a black family in Harlem feeding people. Like he's like a soup kitchen kind of style.
Helping.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like...
I mean, if something's going to change your fucking life.
But I think that speaks to the fact that like no one's born racist. You're made racist. You know what I mean? Like he was being indoctrinated into this racist thing.
To quote Ernie Hudson, I don't believe in any of this shit a few weeks ago, but in the last couple weeks I see shit to make you turn white. Make this hateful motherfucker turn on a dime. All right, hey, we're good.
But my point is, the way I took it is like, no one's born racist. You're made racist.
Sure.
He was being made racist. He's growing up in the Deep South. He's in the Klan because all his friends and his family are in the Klan. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
He's there because that's the norm for what's going on there. He doesn't really care, obviously, because this dude jumps in a truck with a black guy.
Well, he found a new norm. And it's one that's going to keep his ass alive.
Yeah. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, he turned on a dime. So this kid wasn't actually racist. He was just like, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. I don't hate black people, but it's what we do. We kill them.
Right.
You know? It's a weird thing because that's, like, a really... Like, as I said that, I was like, no, that's really fucked up.
And then you find out, like, everyone you run with in the norm are a bunch of fucking demons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you go, oh.
Right.
Maybe they were wrong.
Right.
Especially when the guy who just saved your ass could have just fucking lumped you in with them and put you down just as easy.
Yeah, just popped you right in the head, too. Yeah.
And wouldn't have been out of line.
Nope.
Just for guilty association. You were about to, weren't you?
You were at a lynching.
Yeah, you were going to be an accessory to murder.
Right. We jump back to San Juan Hill, to Sylvester, and find out that Miss Nightsdale is actually the bird thing. I was wrong. It's her.
Yeah.
Not him. But we also learn that...
Well, that bird thing has some big old boobies.
But we also find out that both of them are from Tulsa. And they were present for the Tulsa race massacre.
Yeah, and this is the first signs that, like, there's feelings.
Yes.
And because it's weird, man, because he's like, you take such good care of me, Miss Nightsdale. And she's like, no, Dr. Sylvester, you take such care of me. And he's like caressing the side of her face. And it's like, do you guys have first names? Like, this is a very awkward intimacy.
Right. That's what I said. I didn't really, like, it felt like they were, like, in a partnership, but they weren't, like, in a relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, at the end of this, I'm like, oh, no, they loved each other.
Sure, but if you take away the artwork and him, like, caressing her face in that panel, then it's just like, hey, you take good care of me, miss. She's like, oh, you take good care of me too. All right, cool, you're partners. There's the artwork interpreting that there's more going on here.
Yeah, it's a lot. But anyway, so they have this interaction, and then Sylvester, like, pulls the Fifno serum, or the power of the Fifno serum, out of the two cured Janu. And they use that and he says, they will keep us alive. So they're, like, somehow the Fifno serum is keeping them normal, I guess.
I still don't get what's going on with the victims, though. Like, are they, like, they just want the serum in the victims?
They are somehow removing the Fifno serum from them.
But do those people become Janu again?
I don't know because I don't remember.
Die?
I don't know. Yeah. I have no idea because I don't think it's laid out what happens to them.
Yeah, because it's just it's a weird artworky panel where they're just floating in the air.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, ah, and their eyes are all lighting up.
Doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't look great. But we jump back to Mississippi, and Ford returns the guy who is going to be the victim of the lynching to his family. And they say they knew his grandfather and his father, and that his parents died together. Which, they're kind of slowly doling out information throughout the story of what happened to the parents.
Which is so necessary, because it's like, how many cousins can you have? It's like, where are all your parents?
Dead.
Yes.
This is where Ford lays out that he doesn't purify, he amputates. He kills Janu and their hosts. He does not give them a chance to become Janu again. Then he leaves a gun and some of that magic.
But those people are shocked to hear that too. That family was like, but those are humans deep down inside.
Right.
Like they're looking at Ford like oh shit, buddy. Like, that's a bit extreme.
Yeah, it's extreme. Yeah. Well, they said they knew his family already, and like, you don't do this. You're a Saint Gervais. You don't kill.
It's open season on all suckheads. I put them down.
But he leaves them a gun and some of those serum bullets, just in case anything happens, especially after that many people died. I figure some white people be looking for blood. So Johnny followed Ford to that house, and he's waiting outside, and he tells them where there might be more Janu. And he seems kind of like, I don't know, should I be doing this? I don't like what happened back there. But like, it's crazy. Should go kill some more monsters.
Yeah.
Ford tells him to get in the truck, and we hop back to Harlem. Cullen gets Berg back to the shop. Him and Blake are yelling at each other about like what they saw, because it doesn't make any sense seeing a Janu talk, because it's not a Janu. And that Berg is infected by something. And Janu don't infect you by, like, attacking you. It doesn't work like that. Because, like I said, it's the hate or the fear that makes you that.
Yeah, it's a manifestation.
Right. But Berg has been infected by that, and he's like all monstery looking. Red eyes, scaly skin, pointy ears, greens. Like, the last page is a full page, and Berg is sitting in a chair looking all monstery going, Genu attacks don't cause infection, and it's quite apparent that I am indeed infected.
Berg is my favorite.
I think Berg is my favorite too. Like, Blink is badass, and
Yeah, Blink is badass.
Cullen's the
got the
relatable
development.
one.
Yeah.
Ford's the hard ass who gets shit done.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would like to see more Johnny, which is, a white dude saying, I want to see more of the white guy.
Yeah, but he's the guy that's stuck in the middle of it. He's the what the fuck is going on guy, which is always the most relatable guy.
Right, but he's still he's kind of like, he has the arc where it's like, you came from this and you're going towards that.
Yeah.
But again, Cullen is your regular guy. Ma'ed is awesome.
Yeah, yeah. The wise sage.
Yeah, like you said before, everyone's so like well fleshed out as a character. Like, there's something to like there, but I think Berg is definitely towards the top.
Yeah, for sure. That's funny. One more with the white guy.
I don't mean it to be like that, you know what I mean? Like, I caught myself as I said, like, oh, that sounds not great.
The chapters have names.
Yes, I've been.
And we've been kind of skipping over them. I just, because this one, "We Are the Cure" is the chapter for
They are fairly relevant to what's going on, but
I don't know. It just takes me to Cobra, the Stallone.
Okay,
you're the disease, and I'm the cure.
I mean, that's what's going on.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so issue 3, and this is where shit starts to get bad. Because the cops are looking for justice in Harlem for the 2 cops that got killed in the park by Miss Nightsdale, and we see them kind of like laying out. This is basically we're skipping area to area, panel by panel, and like while this is very effective as a storytelling thing in a book, it is hell to talk about.
Right, because like we're in Harlem in the first panel, we're back at tonsorial, which is still Harlem.
Yep.
And then we're jumping into Mississippi.
Well, specifically, the cops are like amassing outside the jazz club.
Right.
Right. So yeah, Blink and Cullen are trying to control the infected Berg. We have Ford hunting the monster that Johnny was talking about. Then we get a larger 2-page spread of the same like order, but it is cops raiding the jazz club in like the most brutal way possible.
Yeah, just bullshit. Fucking
they're just
beat downs and
beating civilians who happen to be in the club just because 2 cops got killed. We're gonna go fuck up some black people.
And a couple of them. The only ones with dialogue are the ones going, we need to say something. This ain't right.
Well, this is Sullivan and Samuels. These are the ones who have the relationship with the Saint Gervais,
right? Who
bring them the Genu because they know. Also, Samuels is black.
Yes.
So
Sullivan though, just going, no one's gonna believe monsters are running around,
right?
Killing cops.
And Sullivan has to be an Irish guy,
right? So you don't go along with it though,
when the whole precinct is out, but they're the ones who are like, they got someone on their knees. They're not beating the shit out of anyone. Every other cop is cracking someone with a billy club.
Yeah.
We see
back in the shop.
Yep.
Mama Etta has never seen an infection like this.
Yeah, Berger's going nuts, fighting Blink and Cullen, and then we see Johnny in a cabin with another dude and says, folks say you got some kind of monster that eats let's say the N-word, because I'm not gonna say it. It's close enough. It's not the actual N-word.
Yeah, it's a variation.
Yeah. But this dude's wearing a Confederate cap, like he probably fought for the Confederacy. He's the old man.
He seems like he hates everybody because he's throwing white slang around, white slurs around too. He says nosy peckerwoods and other stuff. And
Ford walks in and he starts transforming into a horrible frog monster. And Ford says, this isn't a Genu. A Genu is a man with a corrupted soul, a human turned devil. This is a devil pretending to be a man.
Right.
So he makes a distinction.
A devil or the devil makes no difference. Mm-hmm. He drops the N-bomb again. Frog monster guy.
Yeah. So the Confederate frog monster...
Confederate frog monster?
tries to kill both of them, but Ford ends up taking him down, dead. And we hop back to San Juan Hill to...
Well, Johnny, before we hop, Johnny pitches in the fight,
yeah, Johnny's helping. He cracks him with a chair, right?
Yeah, hits him with a chair. So Johnny's on board. We got some growth.
Yeah.
We got some growth
Well,
out of it.
yeah, so I mean, like, he's got some stuff going on.
We got some growth out of the Peckerwood.
So we hop back to San Juan Hill, and we see Sylvester and Miss Nightsdale. And yeah, okay, the bodies are there. They're laying there. I don't know if they're dead or not. But Sylvester says he could feel the fear and the hate in Harlem. He says it's like it was in Tulsa.
So, this variation of the N-word, I've only ever heard it once before.
Yeah, me too. Boondocks?
No.
Really?
Yeah, it's twice.
Uncle Ruckus.
I've only heard it.
Uncle Ruckus says it.
Yeah, Uncle Ruckus says it a lot. But some guy in Englishtown, when I was working in Englishtown one day, when we had the record store there, came up to me and he was like, "Yeah, I don't understand why people use that N-word, blah, blah, blah." He's like, when I was young, we called them this. And I'm like, "Dude, don't ever say that fucking word in front of me again." He's like, "That's not offensive. That's just what we call them." I was like, "Bro, you ever say that word in front of me again, we're going to have problems." He's like, "No." He's like, "They shouldn't get upset over that word." I'm like, "Bro," you ever use any variation of that word in front of me again?
If the first three letters are N-I-G, you shut your fucking mouth.
But this guy was like trying to defend that it was like a non-offensive term, and I'm like, "Bro, you ain't selling this."
Because old people don't realize.
Yeah, and he wasn't even that old. Yeah, he wasn't like some senior citizen. He,
Because I've had some run-ins because I used to do like pool maintenance and repair.
Yeah,
I would go to people's houses and like fix their pools or clean their pools or whatever. And I've dealt with some old people who have said some things, and I have to go, "Okay, Grandma,
yeah, that's okay.
I'm not gonna fight with you right now. Like, I'm getting paid to be here. Like, it wasn't my business."
Yeah.
But like,
no.
I'm gonna sidestep this.
This guy was legitimately dumbfounded on why I was getting hostile with him, because he would not stop saying the word. And I'm like, "Bro," somebody walks past and here's that word. I said, "I'm gonna fuck you up." It's like, "Do not bring that shit into my store."
People are dumb. It's like, how do you know what, like?
Yeah.
Go find someone, say it to them, and tell me if it gets them mad.
Yeah,
then you can tell me if it's going to make them
even said that
mad
to him.
or not.
I'm like, "Well," I said, "Why don't you go find a black dude and say it and test that water?" I said, "You go test that water."
Right. If you're not willing to say it, then you can't say it.
Yeah.
Fucking Jesus. It's like a slur is a slur. Stop trying to get around it.
Yeah. You know what's just funny, though? It was the first time I had ever heard it was from that guy.
Uncle Ruckus.
Yeah.
Boondocks. Fuck, where are we? Okay, yeah, so we find out that both I almost said Miss Truesdale, Miss Nightsdale.
That's Nightsdale.
And Sylvester were at Tulsa, and he says that the feeling that he feels now in Harlem is very similar to what it felt like in Tulsa before things happened.
He's vibing on the cops going off the deep end.
Right.
You can feel it in the air.
Yep. And this is when he has the switch where he goes, the Fiefno serum isn't the way. This isn't the way. We're the cure. We're going to do it this way. We're going to accept what we are, and we're going to make the world a better place. He calls Miss Nightsdale
an angel.
An angel, yeah.
Yeah.
An angel of retribution. Together, we can end this plague. We just need to embrace what we are becoming and destroy the devils. Because the Fiefno serum was keeping their
infection at bay.
Yeah, was it Inzondo? Is that what it is? Keep repressing them being Inzondo. So they're going to go out and destroy the devils.
It's a lot of it's a lot of rich lore with a lot of rules to it.
There's a lot of stuff going.
The difference between the Inzondo and Genu.
I like it. Yeah. So we learn later from Uncle Enoch what the Inzondo are, but the Inzondo, instead of being corrupted by fear and hate, the Inzondo are made when you feel intense loss.
Right.
Like you're beaten down, you are repressed. The loss turns you into an Inzondo.
Which, although Dr. Sylvester and Miss Nightsdale seem to be our villains, they have also suffered quite a bit of tragedy.
Right. We learned
find
that
out about later.
We learned that they lost their whole family in Tulsa, and the only reason they survived is because they found each other and left.
Yeah.
We hop back to the tonsorial. The Fiefno serum isn't doing anything for Berg.
He's not a Genu.
Right. They have given him enough to cure 5 Genu, and nothing's happened. Then Plink says... Cullen says they need to they need help from Uncle Enoch. And he says...
And Blink loses her shit.
Yeah, well, Cullen says, Enoch knows things humans ain't got any business knowing. Oh, no, Cullen doesn't say that. Ma Etta says that. Blink loses it. She says that Uncle Enoch is dead to her for what he did. Apparently he had something to do with her parents dying. And then Cullen goes anyway, because they need help. Then we jump back to the cops, and the cops are kind of like in a blood frenzy. They're just cracking, and, you know, they're like, everybody stay calm, like, gotta get this under control. Hey, Donaldson, ease up. Ease up, Donaldson. And Donaldson turns around, and him and a bunch of other cops are now Janu.
Yeah.
Cullen gets to Uncle Enoch's place across the river, and he's attacked by... how would you describe them?
So is that Jersey?
I don't know. I don't know what's across the river from
Harlem.
Harlem, yeah.
Jersey.
Okay, I guess Jersey.
Well, parts of New York, I guess.
You know better than I would.
Yeah. Parts of New York.
I don't know if there's a specific...
Yeah, right across the Washington Bridge would be New York. Yeah, I guess it's still New York.
Yeah, so how would you describe these things? I want to see what you describe them as. If you had to be like...
Enoch's...
little
Uncle
pets?
Enoch's...
If you had to say, they look like this, how would you describe them?
They're not quite Chihuahuas. They're like a Chihuahua bunny hybrid, but they also have like cybernetic limbs.
Some of them do, yeah.
Some of them have like cybernetic legs and arms, but they're like cute, adorable little monsters. They're like little... They're kind of like little puppies with bat ears, big pointy bat ears.
So, I said they're little red gremlin bunnies.
Yeah, bunnies.
Like Gremlins, the movie Gremlins, but bunnies. Because they are cute.
Yeah, they're cute. They're like puppy bunnies.
But anyway, we're saying they're
Monster puppy
cute, but they also have very sharp teeth, and they have claws, and they're attacking Cullen as he comes in the door.
And red eyes.
Yeah, red eyes. Like you said, some of them have cybernetics.
The ones that have cybernetic eyes are like the fucking Deathlock eyes.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Turns out they're Uncle Enoch's guard dogs. They hate Janu, and Cullen smells like Janu, which is why he got attacked.
Then like once Enoch has like, you know, settled the situation, the eyes aren't red and glowing. They're big and black and adorable.
Yeah, they're adorable.
They look like the cutest little
Yeah, they're
fucking
cute little pets.
Yeah, like one sitting on Enoch's head.
But so Enoch starts talking to him, and I just want to read this because I think it's hilarious. So while Cullen is still like held down onto the floor, and he's going, "Help me!" Enoch goes, "It's not a holiday. Nor is it my birthday, and I certainly did not extend an invitation, so tell me, boy, why the hell are you trespassing in my home?" And that's it.
Not good to see a
Right.
nephew, you know? Like,
Just a jerk off.
yeah.
McCullen tells there's something wrong with Berg, and as he says that, we jump back, and Berg is just wrecking the place.
Which is funny, because, like, Berg is in control of himself not to really be, like, causing harm to his family.
I don't know. He's like trying to attack. So he's like kind of in control, but he's like wrecking
He's struggling
stuff.
with it. He's struggling.
Yeah.
He's
I
more...
mean, he was throwing Cullen and Blink around before.
Yeah, but like, you know, when you're that big of a burly monster, you could be snapping necks instead of just tossing people away from you.
That's true.
You know, he's kind of smashing furniture more. I take it back. There is a barber chair. Because he smashed it.
I also like the interaction here. So Berg is rampaging around the tonsorial, and Ma Etta says she's too old to run, and she won't run from her own kin, but she will whoop his ass. She gets like his magic gauntlet thing, and she takes him down all by himself. And you see the size of Berg; he's like 3 times her size.
Well, she uppercuts him with that magic gauntlet.
Ma Etta is like a little lady. She's got to be like 5 foot, like tops, you know.
Yeah.
And she's very old. She says she's too old to run and too stubborn to quit. Then we hop back to Ford. Ford calls the Confederate frog monster a gatekeeper. And he says they come from someplace else. And then Ford finds a map that corresponds to the huge uptick in Janu and what he thinks are gateways that they're using to come over. And he needs to get back to Harlem, which, you know, good timing. And he gets from... I guess this is happening in the past... Because he gets from Mississippi to Harlem real fast.
Yes, he does.
And that's not a short drive. I assume even longer in the 20s.
In the 20s, yeah.
Yeah, when he like top speed was like 50 miles an hour.
For real.
But the last pages.
He must have one of them like fancy steampunk engines in his
pickup,
you know?
Yeah, he's got like crazy colored serum going into the car to make it go faster. It's got nitrous. But he also drives like a big like covered truck.
Yeah.
Like it's like a pickup with a bed in the back, but it's covered. The book ends, the last few pages are half the cops are facing down the other half of the cops that are now Janu.
Well, it's nice to know they were good ones.
Yeah. A few bad apples. But it's fine. A hulked out, superpowered Dr. Sylvester floats by, and he just starts killing them. Just starts killing them all.
Well,
like ripping them apart with his bare hands.
He's not Dr. Sylvester. He is the Archangel. Come to cast them out. He is salvation.
He looks like a genie.
Yeah.
Like an evil genie.
Yeah.
Like if you remember Jafar from Aladdin when he was like all genied out, very similar vibe.
Yeah, even his hair's like wafty.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
he's floating.
Yeah.
Shirtless, very muscular. Pointy ears, clawed hands.
The silhouette picture, there's just like things drifting off of him.
Yeah, just like power or whatever.
Yeah.
Issue 4. You want to read the...
When he's floating with the cops, he's a Sullivan. You ever see anything like this? Not even in my nightmares.
I moved on to the next issue already. I was waiting for you.
Okay, no, that was it. I thought it was a funny dialogue. Because, I haven't even seen this in my nightmares.
Mm-hmm. Issue 4. This one's titled, There's No Reasoning with the Devil. We are still in Harlem. The cops, Samuels and Sullivan, work together to save people. Samuels leads people away back to the tonsorial, and Sullivan slows down the Janu by shooting them, so he stays behind to provide some cover. And Sylvester is just tearing Janu apart with his bare hands, just like fucking him up. So like on his face, the good guy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, as far as like motivations and stuff go, it's like technically he is the bad guy, right?
The enemy of my enemy.
I guess, but like it's different approaches, right? It's kill them all versus like try to like fix everyone and be friends.
Well, let's get rid of the immediate problem before we turn our attentions on each other.
I guess that's not necessarily what I'm saying.
I know. I'm just saying, it's like eventually you're gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah, but back with Berg and Maeda. Berg is tied up again, and Maeda is telling him that she's too old. But she'll still deal with him if she has to. She will kill him. Like don't second guess that.
Most indubitably.
And he says most indubitably. So Berg has somehow gotten control of himself and convinces Maeda to let him go so he can go help Blink outside. Because Blink is fighting Janu while getting like fleeing denizens of Harlem into the tonsorial.
Yeah, and she's looking pretty swarmed.
Yeah. But Maeda knows it's Berg because he's talking like Berg. He's not like growling and yelling anymore. He's speaking how he normally does. He hops out with Maeda, and she tells Blink that she's glad she didn't listen to her and that Enoch was right. So she's glad that Blink is a fighter. Which, fucking Maeda's a fighter. Why is she giving shit about Blink?
Well, last resort, right?
I guess, but still, it's like you want your granddaughter to like know how to do this, like defend herself.
I love that last panel, even though it's kind of small and the detail's not there. But you got Blink with the staff and Enoch standing there, but not Enoch, Berg standing there, and Mama Edna's in that like fucking Iron Fist like pose, ready to do some kung fu.
Into a flat hand.
It was that's such a great fucking
wide
panel.
stance. And then we see Cullen and Enoch hauling ass through Harlem with the weird like little gremlin bunnies all over them, running through the streets, and they get checked.
And the gremlin bunnies are amazing because their faces are serious as fuck. Like it is like go
but they got
time.
shit to do. Yeah.
And I like the steampunk looking motorcycle with the sidecar, lots of rivets in it.
But they end up getting checked by Miss Nightsdale in her vulture form or her Inzondo form. And it wrecks the motorcycle. The two of them get thrown, and she's happy to see Enoch. Like she's like, Sandray's happy you could join us.
Yeah, I wonder how she knows who Enoch is, though.
I mean...
Because they don't touch on that.
Sylvester had visions and shit, so...
Yeah.
He probably can tap into everybody somehow.
I mean, if you're going to be a big scary monster, I guess it would pay to brush up on the monster hunters.
But Enoch is, like, completely surprised that she could speak and that he knew her name. And he's like, incredible. Like, he's more like whoa.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, scared. So we cut to people trying to seek refuge at the tonsorial, and Ma Etta is trying to help people who are infected.
Yeah, they're rounding people up in the shop.
Right. In that fight, Cullen cures the Janu, and him and Enoch are bringing him to the back to the tonsorial. And Enoch lays out the fact that black folks don't turn into Janu, but there are other ways to corrupt a soul. It's called Inzando. Souls tainted by hate become Janu. Souls ravaged by great sorrow and pain become Inzando. So he kind of lays out the rules there. They come across Sylvester and some other Inzando, because the Inzando, like, the Janu just end up looking like
Werewolves,
demon people,
vampire,
like devil people kind of thing.
Pointy
Where the
ears.
Inzando are like monsters.
Yeah.
Like there's a bigger shift in how they look. So they come across Sylvester and other Inzando, and Sylvester is preaching salvation and liberty for their people. He says it always starts with their fear and hate, and it always ends with our deaths. And then he gives his origin of becoming Inzando in Tulsa, being buried in rubble in his home, like feet away from his dead kids and his wife. And that's what did it for him. Not did it for him, but like what turned him.
Oh, yeah, that does it for me. Kill my family.
So Ma Etta's been trying to cure a Janu, and it's not happening. And it like gets the best of her, throws her across the room. Her head wrap falls off, and she's got this shock of white dreads that pops out. And boy, does she look badass once they're loose.
Right? She's all like crouched down real low to the ground, picking up her staff, ready to kick some ass.
You know what? She reminds me of Ezekiel. Ezekiel from Walking Dead.
Come on here, Mom Etta. Calling him closer.
So she picks up the staff and she knocks his ass through a wall.
She's beating the shit out of him with empathy. You poor thing.
Yeah, you poor thing. Bam, bam, bam. But she knocks him through the wall, and at that moment, a bunch of Janu or Inzando, I'm assuming Inzando because
they're
more
crazy
monstrous.
monster looking.
Yeah.
Horns and one eyes, and they're not Janu.
So they're closing in on the Sandrays, but Ford pops up at just the right time from a rooftop, just starts shooting them. And Johnny came all the way to Harlem with him. How in the name of sweet baby Jesus can it be any worse than this?
Things are about to get bad. Bad?
Yeah. And then we see that monsters are crawling through portals from behind Sylvester. So he's bringing in, like, shit from other dimensions.
Reinforcements.
Cullen and Enoch get overrun, and Cullen is pulled into one of those portals. And Enoch's going, no, not again, not again. Because this is what happened to their parents, or at least their mom. And then we see him falling into nothing. Issue 5. I give you my pain and fear. And we see Cullen falling down. And he falls down into like a weird dark looking dimension that has those little
puppy bunny things.
Yeah, gremlin bunnies all around.
Only these aren't cybernetically altered.
Yeah, they're just regular, all natural.
All natural. Monster puppy
Which
bunnies.
makes you like, how did he not get those?
He's been there.
Because he's got a lot.
Apparently he's been there.
I don't know if he's been there.
Or found a way to conjure them or something.
I guess. It's weird. But someone in a mask, like fucking Borderlands looking,
yeah,
like comes and picks up Cullen.
Is it steampunky fucking plague doctor?
But they know his name.
Yeah.
Go, I have you, Cullen. In my notes, I go, it's got to be one of his parents.
Right, yeah.
Back in Harlem, Sylvester is monologuing to Enoch.
Looks like this poor old guy. He's probably just like, kill me, would you?
He's trying to
listen to your whole diatribe.
He's trying real hard not to die. He's fighting him. He breaks out magic. And Sylvester's like, I see you dabble in alchemy, the darker arts. Such a shame your magic doesn't work on me, and I no longer have a need for your science. And he is about to kill Enoch when the whole family shows up. Except Ma Etta. It's Monsterberg, It's Ford, it's Blink, and they're coming in to save the day.
Monsterberg. He's a berg of a man.
And the real hero of this fight, Blink. She's got those like magic gauntlets on, and we've seen Sylvester take hits from people. She runs up and cracks him in the face and puts him down, like on the ground. Doesn't knock him out, but just knocks him onto the ground. She's one badass fighter.
Yeah, she is.
Like, Sylvester has to get saved by Nightsdale. Like, Nightsdale's tackles Blink off, and the two of them run away. But as they're running, Ford takes a shot at them, and we just see Nightsdale go, scree! A close-up on her face as a bird.
As her bird monster form.
Mm-hmm. And then everyone's kind of like gearing up. It's like, hey, we got a big problem on our hands. We got shit to do. We got to protect these people.
That and Colin's gone.
Yes. Then we go down to the sewers. I guess the Morlocks now. It is Sylvester and... Jesus, hold on. I lost my place completely.
You notice the sweet little devil musical sign by George Gershwin?
What? Oh, yeah. So Nightsdale dies in Sylvester's arms.
Beneath the city.
And he vows to make everyone pay. And he's surrounded by monsters, like I said, look like Morlocks in the sewers.
Yeah, they while she's dying, they talk about how they found each other.
Right.
In the rubble.
Yep.
Like, do you remember when we found each other in the rubble of Tulsa? It's like we were both dying, but in our pain and fear, we found each other and became something more.
This is where I was like, oh, you do love each other. Because like I said, it's just so ambiguous
this is
before.
When up until now, you're like, oh shit, you guys were a couple.
Right.
Like, you didn't act like it.
Yeah. Well, look, you pay to become a doctor. You make everyone call you a doctor.
Yeah, right. I didn't go to school for that many years.
Back at the Tonsorial, Maeda is focusing on taking care of all the people that are coming to them for help. And we've got Johnny there helping, like I said.
Wearing an apron, carrying the soup pot.
Yep. Cops are there helping. We later see Sullivan.
Call yes, ma'am, to Maeda.
Mm-hmm.
Blink kind of loses it at the fact that they're serving soup.
Yeah, she's like, what are we doing? We have to go fight. Like, she's raring to go. And
I guess she has, like, the heat of the battle, I guess, going on or whatever.
Right.
But, like, she didn't seem like such a hothead. She seemed frustrated in the beginning chapters.
But, like, I mean, the Harlem's crawling with monsters.
Yeah.
You want to go take care of it.
Right, but, like,
But Maeda's kind of, like, cooling her jets, being like, we have to take care of the people coming to us.
Right. And that's why, like, it was a little, like, I felt like, maybe not out of character, but, like, I don't know. Like I feel like Blink is smart enough to look at the bigger picture and get Maeda's vibe of, like, community. We're going to take care of the community.
I see where you're coming from, but, like, you got to think, like, again, Blink, if we don't stop, we're going to have to care for more people, and more people are going to get hurt. We have to take care of the monsters,
Yeah.
So I think it's valid. At the same time, Enoch is working on curing Berg, and he managed to do it. But the thing is Berg still has some sort of connection to Sylvester. He can still feel him, and he's here. He's there right now at the Tonsorial. And we cut to, like I said, Sullivan serving food to people, and Johnny behind him. And we see Sylvester's tendrils come through, and now he's just attacking indiscriminately everyone there.
I guess you're not the good guy.
Not anymore. And as, like, it looks like it's hopeless, because he's overwhelming everybody.
Because of you, my beloved has died. Man, up until a few pages ago, we didn't know if she was your secretary. Or...
Right, exactly. Yeah, no one could tell, bud. So he's tearing through people, and then a portal opens up, and two people come through and take Sylvester and his minions down with no problem at all. Like, they zip through them, again, in the matter of a couple pages.
Expertise monster hunters.
Mm-hmm. And they got more of them little red bunny gremlins with them.
Yeah. Kind of look like talons.
Yeah, they kind of have that vibe on them, yeah.
Quarter owl's talons.
Sylvester ends up retreating. Colin and Blink's mother reveals herself from underneath one of the masks, and it's like, oh, whoa. And there's a happy reunion. And then Cullen reveals himself, and he looks older, stronger, more handsome.
Yeah, he's got facial hair, he's got a chiseled chin, like he is jacked, and he's no longer the guy
on
who
his face.
Could not fight.
Right, yeah, this dude is like, he's in it now. He's got it.
He's took his lumps and he has learned.
Mm-hmm. But happy reunions and stuff, cool, but they can't talk right now because they have to prepare because hell's coming. And that is the end of the book. And that is a hell of a cliffhanger.
That is a hell of a cliffhanger. I am glad that we have Volume 2s in stock.
Yes.
Because I will be reading it very quickly. I will not wait.
I do also want to say the back of this book is full of a bunch of like essays and little articles.
Yeah, I'm not even done reading this one. I read the story, but there's so much extra material.
Yeah, I've read two. What did I do? I did like 3 of these, but it's people commenting on the work and how it's like relevant to like race relations and how black people are, how they coincide with art, specifically with like comic books and stuff. What was the one thing I read on how God, what was it? I gotta find it. I can't. Nope, that's not what I want. He coins the term ethno-gothic, meaning like main character, like black main character driven like horror stories, like a lot of the Jordan Peele stuff.
Okay.
And how that's kind of becoming a genre of its own and what that means, kind of thing. And there's other stuff in here that's just, I can't wait to read the rest of them because it's interesting. I wish there was more kind of like breakdown of stories in the back of like some books,
right?
Because it gives you just a little more like background and like perspective on what's happening, especially like on areas like something like this that is very Afrocentric kind of stuff that I have no experience with whatsoever.
Right,
giving you the context of what means what and why, you know. So very cool. Yeah, I liked it. Like I said, it didn't knock my socks off, but it is a solid start to like it's a lot. It builds out this huge world.
Yeah, like so.
It gives you a solid foundation to build on.
I know it's good. It didn't knock your socks off, but I think it impressed me a little more, only because of our last few, book reviews have been like lighthearted and goofy and kind of meant to be one and dones, where this did a good job getting me invested in something, and there's more of it.
Well, the things you've been reading have been like you said, like jokey fun stuff.
Right.
Not necessarily jokey fun stuff, but like more kind of like whatever, throwaway.
Right.
Where it is taking the time to build character, to build the world. It is serious.
Yeah.
It is an actual story that's building towards something, where those other things were kind of like one-off throwaways.
I like all the flavor in this book.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are a few stories where I like all the characters. Like you tend to travel the paths that are dictated for you a lot of the time, where it's like, oh, I hate this guy because he's the bad guy.
Sure.
I don't hate the bad guy. Like I don't.
No, he has a valid reason for why he is the way he is, and it's like, okay, cool, but you're killing people. That's not okay.
No, he definitely
Which even like
the wrong path.
Ford is
right,
walking that line too.
Right.
And I like to see if that gets paralleled later.
But I like him. I like Ford. He's a badass. Like it's a variety of perspectives.
Yes.
To take into account,
instead
of everything being so black and white, where it's like, okay,
this book is about being black and white, Brian.
I mean, in terminologies of
I know.
bad,
I'm just being a jerk.
Sylvester and Nightensdale have lost a lot. You can empathize with the bad guys. The family themselves have lost. But they seem to rise above a little bit.
Right, it's like how you process that loss.
Right, how you process
the tragedy. Yeah,
it seems like Mama Etta has kept the cousins.
Yeah, everything tight.
Tight and disciplined and not letting things get the better of you. Where Ford has fucked off and is like, I'm going to kill.
Right, he's doing his own thing.
I'm
going
to put a permanent end.
Yeah, there's a lot,
and we still don't know what happened with Enoch and why he became estranged.
Right.
Like we know he had something to do, but we don't know what exactly.
Well, he was able to open the portals, and I think that's what got the mom pulled. We don't know what happened to the dad at all.
That would make sense, right?
I assume they died together.
Right.
Died, quote unquote. But yeah, it's there's a lot going for it.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I collected this by issue, and when I got around to wanting to read it, I realized I was missing like 2 or 3 issues because I wasn't actively reading it,
right.
So I didn't.
That's easy to miss when you're not actively reading it.
Yeah, so I was thrilled to finally get around to get back to this, to read it and trade. It's something that's been on the list for a long time. you know, so it paid off. And I'm sorry I didn't read it when, like I get mad when things were good and I knew they were good. Like I would have ate this up. If I was reading this by issue, this is one of the things that I would look forward to the next issue a lot.
Sure.
You know,
sure.
This would be like a Bug Wars for me. I would be like, oh, I can't wait for the next one. This is great.
I wouldn't quite put it on that level for me.
Sure. Well, Bug Wars is another level of like adventure and fun and stuff. You know, and Bug Wars, not to get off topic, but Bug Wars is delivering in those ways that I like, but don't expect either. Like I really like the way the last issue wrapped up with the mom and the brother looking in the backyard for him, like looking for Slade. Yeah. So I like that. Like, the brother's a jerk, but he cares. He's still out there looking for his little brother.
Yeah, everyone's got issues, and they all get to use in different ways.
Exactly. You know, so I like that. Like, you know, people are complex. They're not necessarily
right. That's the way it should be.
Good or bad.
Characters should be complex.
Yeah.
And back to Bitterroot, it does. You get that complexity.
Yeah.
You know, like I said at the beginning, this story is about race relations, racism, bucking the norm and tradition, like gender roles. Like it's dealing with all that stuff in one degree or another, and it does it all very well.
And aside from like the interesting characters and the lore, like the deep, like it's such a methodical lore with rules that they establish. It's also very fun.
Yes.
Like I like,
and the art's great. Like, I like Sanford Greene.
I was just gonna say dynamic artwork. You know, the action's there.
Yep.
The fucking Jesus, the character design and the contraptions, the guns and the costume. It's everything.
You got tech design stuff going on. You got monster design going on with the Inzando. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff.
And I read the first issue of the third volume. That's the one coming out currently.
Yeah.
Right. And there's some like time.
I think
advancement and stuff.
I think it's like the next generation of hunters or something like that. I don't know. Yeah,
there's like a time jump and more like next level design and shit. I think it's going to continue to deliver. So, like, I'm in. I'm gonna hurry up and read volume 2.
Cool.
And I'm gonna keep reading volume 3 too, even though I'm not in the loop. I'll
keep tabs on it. Yeah, sure. All right, awesome. Yeah, I would say definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend this. I mean, if you need any more opinions other than us two knuckleheads, right on the cover it is a Best Continuing Series winner of 2020. It is an Eisner Award winner. It is a Ringo Award winner. Best Series, Best Artist, Sanford Greene. It is an award-winning thing. Just don't take our opinions for it. It's got credentials to back it.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna leave it there.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Read it.
Yeah, read it. Absolutely.
Don't just read your books. Read this book.
Yes, read this book. Before we do the actual sign off, if you want to give us some suggestions for things that you would like us to read and review here, you could do that at our email, which is going to be thecomiccryptcast@gmail.com. We are on YouTube. You can follow the store on Instagram and Facebook. Links will be in the show notes for that. Go read this book.
We loading up the hearse, throw it in reverse. I come from the church of the Marvel Universe. Bodies getting stuffed in the bags like comics. The hardcore get it while the soft bitches vomit. I came to this earth on a radiated comet. Now the planet is in perilous danger because I'm on it. Fly super villain with the superpowers in me. Got the red issues and all my shit is minty. Body like Ben Grimm, suckers I be beating down. Look around and we be found chilling out in Eatontown. I be at the comic crypt stacking up the kryptonite. Doomsday and Superman every time I grip the mic. Dark Phoenix overloading, supernova, sunspot exploding. I'm the Punisher reloading Bobby Drake when he's frozen. Storm forming ominous clouds over the ocean. Working with Professor X to master my emotion. Have you posing in the box whether you know it or not. I'll easily bag your bitch like Logan did to Scott. Mr. Sinister plots when I administer shots to clone Gene from a jeans. Then this shit'll get hot like Inferno. Burn slow, humans are ash. God loves man kills in the days of future past. Now I'm working on a science lesson. Me and Brian Stratton, a rat in a cage who can't stop buying X-Men.
Like a flower that blooms in the spring.